Everyone, it's Yvonne here to do this do the sign. It's Yvonne here to do the reading for the lovely sign of Aries. Aries, if you're watching this, it's more than likely you identify as an Aries sun. So if I were to say to you, what sign are you? And you would say Aries, then you would be relating to your sun sign. My little spiel every time I do one of these is really to get you to understand that's only one small aspect of your astrological chart. So, you have the main aspects like your sun, your moon, your ascendant or your rising, but you also have a lot of other planets that were in your sign at the time you were born. That means that a lot of other signs will resonate with you if you watch them. And I always talk about, there's been a couple of times when I've caught a reading halfway through and thought, wow, this is my reading. And it's got to the end and it's been something that I've never thought would have been. So, it could be the reading for Cancer and it resonates with me, that type of energy. Although I do have Cancer in my chart somewhere, if I remember rightly. But what I would suggest you do, if you're interested in doing this, go over and find yourself a natal chart on Google or a birth chart. Put in the details of your birth and where you were born, because obviously that makes a difference where you were in the world. If you have your time of birth, then you can get your ascendant. If you don't, you can still get a good natal chart without it. So I always want to do the whole Molly Meldrum, do yourself a favour, because it is really a lot of fun. And really interesting. So, and you can print that chart up and you can keep going back to it and having a look at, all the things that I've just said, which planets were where. So you have 12 houses. So wherever the planets land in that house, it affects that component of your life. So you may be an Aries sun, but you might have a Capricorn moon, which means that, there's a side of you that you show to the world that's very different to the way you see yourself. And I always talk about Freud with the id, the ego, and the superego, because there are 3 different components to our personalities. But you may find that the only people who see some of them are you, or maybe even your close relationships get a chance to see who you are. Now, the devil's just jumped out on me, and the devil is the sign of Capricorn. I often wonder why that happened, but I feel it's because Capricorn's a goat and the devil was always represented as a goat. So somehow or another it got entwined. But the devil card, when it comes out, can talk about obsession, fear, anything that we take to extremes like addiction. It can also represent, for me, someone with a very narcissistic personality, or somebody who's toxic. It can relate to toxic relationships or whatever else. And it's quite interesting that it jumped out on me today. And it's quite beautiful in this deck too, which is not so overwhelming as the way some decks depict the devil. So you may be dealing with somebody like that, especially seeing as I was talking about birth charts and planets. You could be dealing with something like that, or it could mean that there's some sort of fear at the moment or addiction that you need to overcome. And a couple of times I've sort of said that, and it's Christmas, New Year's around the corner, how many of us set a goal for New Year that we cannot manage. So very interesting energy. All right. So we're going to use I have the 5 of Cups coming through too. There's a message coming through very loud and strong here. The Tarot of the Golden Wheel, which I think is an absolutely stunning deck. So let's have a look and see what the deck's got to say. Right, so we have the 2 of Cups coming through. I want to say to you, have you found yourself in a position where you need to walk away from someone because you've realised they're toxic, or maybe you sort of learned enough that you can sort of spot those red flags now, because there does seem to be an energy, especially with the devil and now the 2 of Cups, an energy of perhaps being cautious because you know enough. So you may have already checked out a lot of these things and you're starting to realize that perhaps somebody you're dealing with is toxic. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the reading too that I am available over the Christmas period, just not Christmas Day, Boxing Day and New Year's Day. but I am available to still do readings. So if you want a reading with me, people keep saying my website's down. I keep thinking, no, yeah, it's probably a time to definitely get it up and going again. But if you need to get in contact with me, you can do it through my Facebook page, or you can do it through Messenger. No, you can do it through email. Yvonne, no. The Aussie Goddess at Gmail. Where is my brain today? The Aussie Goddess at gmail.com. All one word, spelt correctly, no numbers. All right, so we have some sort of situation. Now, the Nine of Cups came out in the What's Cracking reading this morning as the very first card. Here it's come out as the second card, but I've still got this feeling that maybe there's somebody about to contact you over the Christmas period. I had this card too, that is contacting you. Oh, the Sun is here too. Okay, could be dealing with a Leo. Or a Capricorn. Okay, so you've got some sort of surprise coming to you over the Christmas break. I feel like reading this makes me feel like somebody is getting in contact with you that you haven't heard from for a while. And maybe it is a bit of a Christmas surprise. I'm not really sure why they're deciding to call you around that holiday break. Maybe because they've got the time off work. It could be that you're dealing with somebody who lives overseas and it's the only time they get to sort of sit down and make contact. Or somebody's had a change of heart. So let's have a look and see where we're going with this. All right, so we have the Ten of Swords with the Four of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, very nice energy, with the Page of Swords. I feel like somebody's had a big change of heart. A big change of heart. It really makes me feel like they've let go of something that was holding them back. I don't feel like it's a, you know, I've divorced or left a partner. It's not like that sort of energy. It's like it's either a forgiveness or a need or want to clear the energy between you. All right, let's just keep going. We've got the Moon. We've got Pisces energy coming through. Yeah, Pisces energy coming through strong. I have the Six of Cups. You know, all of these cards came out in the What's Cracking. Blows me away every time because I'm using an incredibly different deck. And the reason I started to do that in the beginning was because I would do a reading with the same deck and I would get the same cards again. And I used to think, oh, I need to do something about this. I'm pulling out the same cards. So I actually started changing a deck for every reading. When I was doing the stars all in one go in the days when I seemed to have a lot of time on my hands, and I would do the readings all on a Sunday, all 12 star signs. And the same cards would come out. So I started using different decks. I'd have a whole heap of decks on the table and I would start to use different decks. And you could go back and have a look at those readings in the days when I didn't show my face. And the cards would still come out the same, which is what they've done here. I've got probably 2 cards different from the daily reading. So I want to say to you, there seems to be some sort of surprise from the past that is coming to you during this holiday break. Something perhaps with the Moon card here that you haven't expected. Could be communication coming in, but I feel like it's almost like whoever you're dealing with has let go of something. They could have let go of an addiction with that Devil card there. So, or they could have, I'm listening to my cuckoo clock going off. They could have changed something. Something's changed for them. It doesn't feel like separation or a release from a relationship. It feels like you're dealing with somebody who's let go of the past or has had a change of heart. All right, let's have a look. 5 of Pentacles coming through. That came through too, with the 5 of Wands and the Hierophant. We have Taurus energy here as well. So I feel like there's some sort of surprise coming. It could be from a water sign here too, because we do have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, in particular Pisces energy coming through. And Cancer, if you see the Moon as Cancer energy. Whoever this person is has had some sort of release from something in their life. It could have been that they were caring for someone and they no longer need to care for them, or it could be that, as I said, they're coming back from overseas. It could be that they've been through some sort of, I almost want to say, detox situation. and they've deliberated and wondered whether it was the right time to make contact with you. And I feel like somehow or another this person has realized that it's time to, I want to say, reconcile. Whether or not this is about a love, I guess, you know, especially with that Two of Cups sitting there, it could be that they do feel that they want some sort of change in the emotional sort of realm, but it feels more to me like your person might want forgiveness. So if this isn't romantic for you, it could be somebody who's trying to get your forgiveness. But there's a huge turnaround with this person. I might just pop a couple more cards on it. So I feel like possibly it's somebody, and you've got the Nine of Cups here, that you are really happy to hear from. I do feel somehow or another with this energy here that perhaps you never expected to hear from them again. But I do have a lot of Leo energy coming through too. You know, I have a lot of cards, like tarot cards, and I was just sitting here thinking there's a tarot deck that I really love, and I haven't used it for ages. And I have the oracle card deck that goes with it, and it just came to mind. I went, oh, I forgot all about that. Because I have so many, I have a cupboard full. Sometimes I put things away and I think I'll get round to that one day, and it just sits in the back of the cupboard. Okay. So I feel like I'm going to put some more cards out. Three of Pentacles coming through with the Four of Wands. Did this person leave you at the altar? Ten of Wands. Five of Cups. There was some sort of, this person did something that made you very, very sad here. And I feel like with this Four of Wands, maybe there had been talk of connection, marriage, settling down. Maybe this person made lots of promises to you. Because it's like they formed some sort of contract with you at that time. You could be dealing with a twin, absolutely, because of that contract energy. But to me, it feels like somebody left you with a broken heart, or left you feeling like they made you a lot of promises and hadn't kept them. Yeah, I feel like this person is ready to move forward now. You've got the Lovers with the Hanged Man and the Nine of Pentacles in the middle. I feel like this person's found themselves. I hope that makes sense. Like, you know, sometimes when we're doing all the self-work and we start to realize who we are and, you know, what we've put up with over our lives, but we also look at what we've not done well, you know, who we've hurt or who we haven't. You know, you could be dealing with somebody who had an alcohol problem, who has gone through the, you know, the AA program and wants that forgiveness. But whatever it is, it's a surprise. It's a little bit of a dream come true, Aries. I don't think you were anticipating this, but for whatever reason, this person wants to make amends. They may want to reconcile, because I did get the sort of energy of reconciliation and union coming through, which came through in the What's Cracking reading today, the daily read. But I do feel whatever this is, it's just quite a surprise for you. I've got Vulcan, which is inventiveness. So let's have a look and see why that particular card has come out. Think outside the square and go for the most creative solution. Hold your emotions in check and think rationally. Okay, there was nothing Vulcan could not make. In his intelligence and mastery that shines through when we see how he tricks the rather that's probably not relevant. When you need to think outside the box, when you've run out of ideas, when you need to create something very practical to solve a problem, celebrating or further developing your uniqueness and cognitive abilities are a Vulcan trait. I feel like somehow or another this particular situation is creating some sort of energy in you. You know, it may be that you wanted to hear from this person because you did want that closure. Maybe you wanted to put something right, but I feel like almost like this person may have left you at the altar. But I feel like they've had a complete change of heart here. So I want to say to you, you know, if it's not your reading, it's not your reading. You don't need to tell me. But I feel like somehow or another it's putting something right with you. So you may have like blocked your own creativity or blocked your own life because of what happened. And I feel like it's opening the gates. That's where the wish is. It's sort of like it's giving you this gift to open yourself back up to opportunity. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.